So, my goal here was to kind of finish recording all of these before the funny Hive Swap day, in which Hive Swap comes out tomorrow when I'm recording this. And, I was hoping I could actually do that. But, so at the rate I was going, I would have finished everything by last night. And then I went, I can take a night to kind of get my sleep schedule on track. I'll just continue it tomorrow and finish up Snowbound Blood. But, well, I did get proper sleep that night. I also got proper sleep this night. And, yeah, so my only choice to really get this done by the time iSwap comes out is to record one during the day. So, I'm doing that. I really want to get through the entirety of iSwap back to, and schedule them to record and whatever, you know? But yeah, let's go for fucking Act 8 of Marble and Speakers. Shattered! Oh boy, time to get into the spooky narrator mode. Well, on the good news end of the spectrum, you've recently gained an ally in one Necron X-Mort. On the bad news end, you've squandered any hope of goodwill with someone else. Oh my. Most importantly, though, you subjected yourself to a very personal conversation with Mr. Ed. You talk things out with Sestro. Good. And you may have navigated the emotional subject matter like a blind swamp beast, but you did it all the same. It'd be a stretch to say that things are perfect, but progress is progress. For the first time in a long time, you've let yourself feel hurt rather than angry. That's all you need to recall right now. You know it's irrational, but part of you still needs a little distance from him. You've never been one who deals easily with disappointment or heartbreak, and this matter is no exception. You still care about him, though, and you don't feel as strongly opposed to working for him again. Not like you did a few days ago. In fact, you'd say that making up with him is critical, especially in a case like this. Sestro is not corporate. You'll listen to him even as you feel an irreparable rift forming. Irreparable. What the fuck? Fuck you, I'm looking this up.
Irreparable.
You'll listen to him, even as you feel an irreparable rift forming between you and your former company, and your employer company. Hamithi had just as much say in the matter as he did, too. She gives you all sorts of hell, but against your better judgment, there's a very real level of trust you have in her. Things are still hard, but they're getting better, slowly. In the meantime, you'll cope the only way you know how, by fixating on the case in front of you. It's time to get to work. Oh my. So of course, we're gonna do the one oh my god. Oh my god, I already know I'm going to love them. But we're gonna save the one I do know for last. We're going with you, fucking Valtel Gertie. Gertie. Fucking Gertie. What are you? You look like, I don't even know, you give communist vibes. But is that even like, I don't think that's really, could that even realistically be applied here? To fucking Vastairland, whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't actually know much about communism as a whole. But here we go. Uh-oh, I made a bad choice. The mist swirls around you. It's thick, sticky, and it coils between the trees like the tendrils of something that slithered right out of the black depths. A film of moisture clings to your face, slick and heavy with the smell of mildew. Regardless of how often you try to wipe it off with your sleeve, It coated your skin again, so eventually you gave up. Your hands are occupied either way. In one, you hold a heavy-duty torch whose otherwise blinding light does little to fend off the mist or the heavy darkness permeating the grove of essence. Mostly, you keep it pointed at the ground in front of you, all too wary of the twisted roots that protrude out of it at uneven intervals. Whenever you cast the light around you, it illuminates rows upon rows of trees, bent and gangly. At first, your gaze would linger and you would try to make sense of the shapes. But then, the light would catch on reflective patches of the stems and you would not be able to shake the feeling that the trees were staring back. You decide to keep looking ahead. Your free hand comes to grip Prosperina's handle. Oh, neither you nor Necron have uttered a word since. Okay, I didn't know we're here together. Friendship! You've been picking your way through the grove for a bit over an hour now, you in the front and him in the rear, sweeping his own flashlight across the ground. His steps are quiet, the occasional muffled groan whenever he puts too much strain on his still recovering injuries notwithstanding. Your own muscles still throb with a dull pain, reminding you that it's only been a handful of days since your little run-in with the cultists. You made it out largely unharmed, however, and you elect not to dwell on your injuries overmuch. Your focus is needed elsewhere. You are, by all accounts, not pressed for time, and you'd rather not waste any by getting tangled up in trees. A thin claw of a branch juts out of one of them at your ankle level. You have walked into it before you can see it, and it snaps with a pop as loud as a gunshot. Your ankle smarts. Can't shake the feeling that it was reaching for your leg. That's absurd, obviously. All the stories about this place are just that, stories. Though, weaving your way through the warped trees, it's easy to start seeing grimaces of pain and sudden screams etched in the bark. As the tales go, all these trees used to be trolls once, alchemists of a bygone era who wandered all the way out here to tap into the essence of life. It went wrong, horribly so. Each alchemist who attempted the process underwent an entirely different transformation. Flesh hardened into wood, skin gave way to bark, limbs contorted and elongated as sharp, reaching branches. The stories were never mentioned if they remained conscious. They never mentioned that fact, not whatever I said, fuck. Not that you are overly concerned with the fate of fictitious trolls, you tell yourself, yet you can't help but imagine them coming here one by one, hoping that they will be the one to succeed, all of them failing as the forest slowly expands. You catch movement out of the corner of your eye. Turn to look, it's probably phone's been ringing, I should actually answer that, fuck. Normally, I would just ignore that, as I had been all day, but the phone's been ringing constantly. So I decided, hey, I should actually fucking answer that. But it turns out it was just a fucking scam. Well, I guess it's not morning, but yeah. I'm pretty sure turn to look is the correct option, so ignore it. Or turn to look. Your head snaps in the direction of the movement and you shine your light between the branches. For a moment, the torch flickers. The light comes back on and then you're staring at a flat, pale white face, gaping, glaring at you, mouth twisted in a hungry snarl. Your gaze focuses. The uneven bark becomes something decidedly tree-like again. You keep moving as fast as you can without risking your neck breaking, or perhaps a little faster. You cannot afford the luxury of staying perfectly safe, now even less than usual. You're in a bit of a hurry. What if I ignore it? You shake your head with determination. You're not going to start jumping at shadows, alright? How did we get here? You were contacted by one Inderi Vernier, and as soon as you picked up, you knew it wasn't simply a courtesy call. Oh boy. This is the clown person, right? The purple one. Oh. Okay, I was about to start humming a completely different song. Good evening, Cecily. I trust that now is an appropriate time to talk. Hello. Fuck. Hello, Inderi. Yes, it is. What's going on? There's a situation that I'd like your assistance with, one that might be of interest to you as well. Based on your limited acquaintance with Inderi, there's only one thing he knew would be of interest to you. You stood up straighter, zeroing in on the sound in your earpiece. Go on. It concerns a long-time associate of mine, Valtel Gurita, the sculptor. You make a non-committal noise. You've heard of him before. I know him from before. His voice takes on a hesitant note. It's not hard to realize what he's talking about. His time as part of the Mora. Right. Oh. He hasn't been involved with them either. It's simply where I met him and Jinju, his mate Sprit. I understand. So, what has been up with this Valtel? Well, what's been up with him is that, simply put, he's gone missing. Jinju is in quite the tizzy over it, as I'm sure you can imagine. We've been trying to get in touch for a while now, completely in vain. So we figured the expertise of a regulator might be what it takes to shed some light on this matter. You want me to look for him? I would be very grateful if you would visit his estate. Perhaps there are clues to be found there. And do you have reason to believe that's related to my current case? Well, you seem to show great interest in my background, so I hazarded a guess you might want to check this out for yourself. I see. You only considered it for a few seconds, then nodded, as if Inderi would be able to see it. Very well, forward me the address. I will look into it. Thank you so much, Cecily. That means a lot to me, and Jinju. I trust that you'll update us on what you find. I will. I'll be in touch, Inderi. Take care. Bye. Alright. You hung up. With this call, your next course of action was laid out for you. Oh God. Keep moving forward. Keep walking forward. The timing of Inderi's request would be far too convenient if you weren't convinced this was all in line with Noxus's. I don't think that's proper grammar. I think when you put an apostrophe after something that ends with S, you don't put another S after the apostrophe. So I'm going to pronounce it just Noxus schemes. In line with Noxus schemes. I don't know. You've not forgotten his threat from your last conversation, and it seems that you know to whom it applies now. Valtel Gurita. Goatee. Sounds like it. Gertie sounds pretty fucking close to goatee. Why? Change the grammar language so that's not a similarity. You do know the name, though your paths are altogether too different to have crossed before. Art has never been something you have had a particular interest in, and Valdel's clearly very withdrawn lifestyle means you've hardly had any other points of connection. Not until Noxus singled you both out anyway. You only hope you're not too late. Cecily! Silently already forgot the voice. Necron snaps you off your thoughts, and you look over at him over your shoulder. He's pointing at something to your left. We're almost there. He's right. The light from your torches bounces off a wrought iron fence. Not a moment too soon. Necron scoffs under his breath. He has seemed on edge ever since you first heard Valtel's name, but you haven't inquired as to why just yet. There didn't seem to be enough time during your frantic scramble to reach Valtel before Noxus does. There doesn't ever seem to be enough time recently. What is this thing on the floor? Oh, that's my headphone cord. I was wondering what that was. Okay, get that out of the way. You resume walking towards the fence, and now that you're almost there, you notice that the forest is thinning out a little bit, making walking easier. Stay alert. Hurry over is a bad fucking idea. You keep yourself from rushing ahead. The terrain is so treacherous, even if there are fewer trees, and you maintain your focus as you weave your way towards the fence. At some point, you notice a steep decline concealed beneath roots and foliage. Only your meticulous scanning prevents you from tumbling into a nasty fall. You cautiously skirt it instead. At length, you make it to the fence. The iron bars stretch up for a good 20 feet and end with twisted, sharp spikes. Necron reaches over to touch one of the bars. His fingers come off covered in fine red dust. Can we hurry over? Grateful that you've almost arrived, you pick up your pace. The fence cannot be more than a couple of 100 feet away, and with your objective in sight, it's all you can do to keep yourself from running. You can hear Necron moving closely behind. In a matter of seconds, you have narrowed the distance to some 50 feet. You can make something dark and solid between the bars of the fence. Then the ground beneath your foot disappears. You stumble forward, fumble to regain your footing, yet there's nothing but empty air where you expected to find soil. Your other foot gets caught in some roots and you spread your arms ahead of you, bracing yourself for the impact. It never comes. Instead, Necron grabs you by the shoulders and pulls you back. Another second passes, and you are standing on both feet again. When he's certain you're stable, he lets go. Mind your step! Mind your step, regulator! You give him a grunt in response. Yeah, thanks. Alright. You eye the small pit in front of you, covered by roots so thick that you almost think they intensely grew in such a misleading manner to disguise a trap. You properly dismiss the notion. They're just trees. Nevertheless, you proceed with more caution. Yeah. Then he does that. Then he makes, fucking fine red dust. He makes a face and wipes his hand on his pants. All you can see beyond the fence is a thick hedge. There's no building you can make out, and as far as you can hear, the silence is complete. Let's look for the gate. We're going to die! You start walking along the fence, though you somehow doubt you're going to find the gate open. You wonder what's going to greet you beyond it. You decide to probe your companion's thoughts. Necron? Sup, silly? You seemed ill at ease about visiting Fautel. Why? He takes a couple of quicker strides to catch up with you, and you give him a sidelong look. His expression is pensive. Oh no. Full disclosure, I ain't never met this dude. Heard of him though. Nothing wrong with valuing your privacy and all that, but Fautel's something of a recluse. There's a lot of rumors about the goings-on in this mansion of his. You ever seen his work before? Can't say that I have. Reckon you should call it an acquired taste, but I'm gonna level with you. Shit's fucking weird is what it is. It's the sort of thing that you don't want to turn your back to. They're just sculptures, Necron. I know they are, but they're like uncomfortably realistic. There's that one troll that disappeared too. What troll? They had an appointment to model for Valtel for one of his works. Never came back. That's a little concerning, to be sure. Perhaps they got lost in the forest. Necron hums under his breath, but he seems skeptical. That's not how you spell it. See if I type that. So yeah, it's a cave. Or Or maybe both. Okay. It's both, actually. Okay. What? This is impossible. Can't hurt to stay alert is all. What fucking voice did I give him? Give me a second. I need to fucking channels. Yeah. What's in here? Yeah. So, very important. Shut up, me. I don't. Okay. You. Talk. He glances at me, and I couldn't let that happen. Okay, so I guess I gave him this fucking voice? Weird. But okay. I guess that makes sense. I guess that fucking fits him. How could I even forget this? What the fuck? You nod. We're going to. Going to what? Alright. You've made your way around the fence by now, and you come to the gates. They're made of the same black iron as the rest of the fence, and the horizontal bars at the top curve in elaborate, vicious shapes. 2 stone columns flank them. Atop each of them are perched identical stone figures. You cannot make out their heads, but the tense poses give off the impression they're ready to lunge down at you. Predictably, the gates are closed. A thick iron chain is wrapped around them where they meet in the middle, secured by a sturdy padlock you can see hanging on the inside. Well? Worry not, regulator, I got just the thing. He raises his prosthetic hand. With a series of clicks, the appendage reconfigures into a circular saw. You have got to... The rest of your words are drowned out by the whir of the saw. You sigh, pointing the light at the chain to assist. Thankfully, the saw cuts through before the screech of metal against metal gives you a headache. Once he's done, Necron gives the chain a sharp tug and frees it, then discards it to the side. Together, you begin to push the gates open. A second stretches in which nothing happens. You dig your feet in the dirt for support, pressing forward with your entire weight. A grunt escapes your lips and the gate still refuses to budge. Okay, whatever the fuck. Then it gives way. The hinges scream, a piercing sound just at the edge of your perception that had bored straight into your cerebral matter and makes your teeth hurt. You resist the urge to clamp your hands over your ears and keep pushing instead. Between your efforts and Necrons, there's soon an opening you can enter through. You let go of the gate and walk in. You step onto the grounds of Valtel's mansion, and for a moment, the complete quiet of the night is the most pleasant thing you've ever heard. Then you realize you're standing at the entrance of a giant hedge maze. What the fuck? The walls loom above you, thick and all but solid. Once each branch would have been trimmed to be perfectly even. Every angle would have been measured to ensure symmetry. Not anymore, however. Leaves stick out every which way, like the butchers are trying to claim back what had been taken. Tiny hooks, all too eager to embed themselves into your clothing or skin. Square tiles line the path into the maze, but they're cracked and uneven. Weeds push through the holes between them. And of course, the statues. When your eyes land on the one closest to you, your breath catches somewhere inside your respiratory tube. The marble body is contorted in an unnatural way, as if squeezed by a gigantic hand, and its expression is one of anguish, or fury. Its eyes bore straight into yours. You find yourself unable to look back as you take another step forward. On the edge of your peripheral vision, you see Necron following. If this ain't... A loud, piercing screech cuts him off. Oh, I thought that was from him. Fuck. Making you recoil. Slowly, painfully, the gate swings shut again. You hold your breath, digging your nails into your palms. The sound is almost tangible, like someone scraping a dull blade across your bones. For a moment, there's nothing you want more than to be away from here. Then, the sound stops, and you can breathe again. You give the gates a wary look, then shake your head. They look perfectly innocuous, stationary once more. I think since I already got this one queued up, I'll delete all of these at once when I get everything done. Can't wait to get to the other person, though. Hell of a cheerful place, ain't it? Idyllic. I see what you mean about sculptures. Yeah, not a fan of how it seems to be watching me. He clears his throat. Anywho, we pressing on, regulator? You nod. We need to find Valtel. You brace yourself and enter the maze. Oh god, oh fuck. The path is too narrow for you, the path is too narrow for you and Necron to walk side by side, but so he falls back, assuming you're earlier for Mason. Hope you're good with mazes. Never had the patience for it myself. Fuck. This ain't the fucking voice. Ah. How do I voice? How talk? I don't know. Save me. Normally, you'd say you are. Mazes are a system with a start to finish, and working from one end to the other is kind of problem solving. It's a kind of problem solving that appeals to you. You know there's a solution. It's only a matter of finding it. Now, though, you can't stifle the tiny voice at the back of your mind that insists that this maze does not have one. You've been feeling this way a lot recently. You swallow back your doubts. You have to keep moving. An odd rattling sound carries through the thick air, and your muscles clench. You pause with your foot half planted on the ground, straining your hearing to catch more. But there's only silence. All good, regulator? Yes, I thought I... Never mind. You're spared from explaining what you heard when the path you're walking down connects with another. Oh, it's different actually, okay. You reach an intersection. You can keep going forward or turn left. Oh my... Fuck you! Why? Okay, this is probably the point where I'm just gonna keep going until I fuck up or whatever, then come back later and do the other option. Well, a lot of the time I just kind of try to follow the left wall, but I don't know. Maybe. Some mazes aren't as simple, and some mazes just... Fuck! You turn left. The rattling sound hits you again, louder this time. It comes from the direction you came from. Did you hear that? Yes, came from behind us. You give a sharp nod without looking at him. Stay alert. You reach an intersection. You can keep going forward, turn left or turn right. No! No! Keep going left. You turn left. You reach a dead end. The hedge closes in front of you abruptly, like a heavy curtain dropped to mark the sudden end of a scene. There's nothing around you but walls of foliage, your gasping breath, and the clumps of mist. Then a rattle on the other side of the wall before you. You spin on your heel and push past Necron, motioning for him to follow you back. You retrace your way to your last turn. So if I load this, If I go left... Oh wait, if I go forward... Okay. Ah! So wait, if I do that... So why was I crossed out? Because I got the right way? Forward. Alright, so I'm guessing all of these just lead to the same dead end thing. Gotta be sure! Each of your footfalls is as sharp as a gunshot against the tiles. Your blood pressure hammers against the cage of your ribs. Your breathing is a staccato of rasping pants. You're much too loud. The rattling comes again, this time from the left. Closer still. You pick up your pace. The mist has congealed into a thick mass that actively resists the light of your torch. Your visibility becomes more and more obscured, which does little to soothe the pangs of apprehension in your stomach. As you turn around a corner, a statue lurches at you. Its arms are outstretched in an aborted attack, each of its digits ending in sharp, curved claws. It's certainly a troll, but their features are twisted in an agonized, furious snarl. For a few moments, you're unable to break their stony gaze. Their eyes are narrowed to slits, leering at you with a mixture of hatred and a silent plea. Necron tears you from your transfixation with a hand on your shoulder. You let out a huff and keep walking. Oh boy. Left! Fuck! Got to be fucking sure. Oh yeah, reach another dead end. This one isn't empty. Oh boy. Oh boy, I knew I should have been trying to check everything. I get very curious. And that rewards me sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, with me wasting a long fucking time on shit. But this time, it was a reward. You take the turn with so much momentum that coming to a stop is slow and clumsy. You end up all too close to a gerbat who should not be here. He stares you down, unfazed. Yeah. Trauma time? I don't know if this is trauma, but yeah. Thought I told you. I never wanted to see you again. You try to come up with a response, but your voice doesn't seem able to find the way out of your mouth. You shouldn't be here. It's not your place. Haven't you caused enough grief? The likes of you are not welcome here, nor wanted. You think the power you have justifies your arrogance, your cruelty. But when did your position turn into all that you are? He smiles with as much warmth as the swing of a blade. Or maybe it's all you've ever been. The chest thing is fucked! Your knees shake. You stumble back away from him, as if that can protect you from his words. You crash into Necron, who grasps your upper arms and steadies you. Cecily? You're acting real weird. What gives? You twist back to look at the spot where Gerbat stood, but there's nothing there, just the darkness of the maze. You press a hand to your face. You don't understand what's happening. This place is messing with your head. In the distance, you hear that rattle again. You need to find the exit, find Valtel, and be done with this place. You take a deep, steadying breath and steel yourself back before looking back at Necron. Trick of lights, we can't stop now. If Necron has any doubts, he doesn't express them. Instead, he motions for you to keep going. As you retrace the steps towards the last intersection, the rattling sound seems to be coming from all sides. Your head is pounding. Cold sweat rolls down the back of your neck. You wonder what fresh nightmare awaits you around the next corner. Oh boy, what if I go back? Another dead end. You turn the torch in all directions as if shining light on the correct spot will open some unseen way forward. Nothing. Then, something on the ground catches your eye. Is this random? Is it fucking random? You direct your light towards a small puddle of liquid. It appears black at first, but closer inspection reveals it's a rich blue, cerulean. Another splatter paints the hedge to your left, cogulating across the small leaves. You reach out to touch the blood. Is this silly? Necron's voice gives you pause. The undercurrent of agitation suggests this is not the first time he tried to attract your attention. You look at him over your shoulder. Don't you see it? See what? You turn back to point of the blood and it's gone. There's no sign of it. It's as if it was never there. You rub your eyes. This place is messing with your head. With a sigh, you turn back to Necron. It's nothing. I thought I saw something that wasn't there. Let's go back. He seems worried, but he doesn't argue the points. Again. Keep walking forward. A dead end. So that's pretty much it, right? Oh fuck. I just want to be sure. No. Okay, I guess we'll progress. You turn left. You're deep in the maze now, unsure of your position relative to where you started. You hope you're moving in the right direction. You hope that whatever is making the rattling noise does not come any closer. Oh, there it is. You reach an intersection. Turn left or right. What the fuck are you? Holy shit. So go left. Uh-oh. Oh! Okay. Okay. Good thing I saved. I'm gonna try that again. A dead end. Huh. Is there really? What the fuck? What was that? I'm pretty sure that was something from Astaire, but I forgot what. Was it him? Was it that guy? That bad guy? I don't even think it's worth it trying that. Nah. I don't think it could hurt. Yeah, that! This! Why is it not zoomed in? This should be zoomed into that amount. What is this? Yeah, this is... Yeah. These. That's what I'm thinking of here. So... Ah, fuck. Didn't even mean to do it that time. I was gonna actually proceed. Let's turn right. Your paces become frantic. You're not quite running, but it's a close thing. And your frenetic breathing sounds thunderous to your ears. Prosperina is in your hand, although you don't remember drawing her from her sheath. It takes you a moment to realize that you can't hear the rattling. Somehow, that is little to comfort you. What if I didn't go left? Would the rattling keep going? Maybe. You reach an intersection. Oh. I'm actually enjoying this a lot. Well, the right is always right! Alright, let's see what's on the right. You reach an intersection. You don't pause to consider, instead making a split-second decision to march down the first path you see. You don't have it in you to be surprised when you realize it's a dead end. Oh, hello. Who the fuck is this? Mashiri? Okay. Let's try going forward. What if I go this way? A dead end. Are you sure about that? Okay, fine. Mashiri, or what you know by now is not Mashiri, stares you down with her arms crossed. You know this is not real. You know you ought to turn around and leave, but her cold gaze paralyzes you. Are you lost again, Cecilia? Fucking forgets the voice I did for her, too. I remember the voice I gave that one other person that we haven't done yet in Vast Terror. But I don't remember the voices I gave these other people that were earlier in this fucking thing. And like, more major characters. You're on the wrong path. But you know that, don't you? You've been sprinting towards the dead end for sweeping people along as you go. I was supposed to help you, but you never let me do that, not really. Tell me, Cecily, are you happy about the position you put me in? Even if you wanted to give her an answer, you doubt you'd be able to. The apparition that claims Mashiri's face tilts its head, observing you with something you might consider to be curiosity. Then it gives you a honey-sweet smile. Leave. I never want to see you again. You want to hide from the smile, from the words you both expected and feared for sweeps. You cannot look away. Alright, Regulator, time to move. You've been staring at the empty wall for a hot moment again. He grips your shoulders and gives you a light but firm tug backwards. As soon as he breaks your focus on it, the thing that wasn't Mashiri disappears. You shake your head and pull your shoulders from his grasp. I can walk. You turn your back on the dead end, facing Necron head on. He watches you for a moment, then nods. We gotta be getting close to the exit now. We'll be out here in no time flat. I was kind of fearing about actually, because I'm enjoying seeing what all this has to offer. Even if it's fucking torture for Cecily. So now that you actually fucking outright said it, that means we still have a while to go, right? He seems to be waiting for a response from you, but when you don't give him one, he shrugs and starts walking back down the way you came from. You follow. You walk in silence for a while before Necron breaks it. Yo, Cecily, what did you see? Tell him, you fucking idiot! I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna say truth. You can't do that. Fuck you! It doesn't matter, Necron, it was nothing. Thankfully, he doesn't press it. How fucking dare you! I get why you wouldn't want to say anything like that, Cecily, but what the fuck? Actually, you should've. You must have been just off the exit of the maze, because it's only a couple more moments of walking before it abruptly ends. Valtel's mansion stands in front of you. A 3-story building floating amidst the fog. Elaborate ornaments decorate the facade, but they're weather-worn and chipped. The stone itself is darkened and dull with moisture and moss. Almost all the windows are barred from the inside, and no light shines through the cracks. You exchange a look with Necron. Let's see if anyone's home. We don't get to see it? The two of you inch your way to the front of the hive and ascend the stone steps leading up to the door. An iron knocker the shape of a hooded serpent is positioned at your eye level, staring at you indifferently. As you stare back at it, you hear that same rattling that followed you through the maze, but now it's distant, fainter. Then you hear a sound filtering through the door from inside the hive, a sharp, measured knocking. You can't make out what it is. While you're trying to determine the source of it, Necron switches his prosthetic to a set of lockpicks and sets out to bust the door. You strain your hearing to catch any changes inside, but there's only the same rhythmic sound. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. There! Fingers crossed the door ain't barred too. He strains back up, pleased with his handiwork. Then the two of you lay your hands on the door and give it an experimental shove. It's heavy, but you're surprised it gives slightly. You push harder. The door begins to slide open, gradually, laboriously. Then all at once the resistance disappears and you tumble inside amidst a loud clatter. Son of a... You grip the back of Necron's shirt before he crashes into the ground headfirst, steadying yourself on the door and trying to get your bearings. I'd like to see that, actually. I'd like to see that. A pile of assorted furniture lies scattered on the floor in front of you. A table, a number of upturned chairs, what looks like an elaborate coat hanger. It seems like it was barred up after all. As you're saying it, unease creeps up your back. The knocking has stopped. Your hand slides across Serena's handle and you open your mouth to warn Necron. And then it starts up again. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. You hesitate, but when it doesn't seem to waver, you venture inside. You keep your blade at the ready. The hive is quiet, dusty, and deserted. You head down a long hallway that opens into a spacious living room. At least that's what you assume it is. All of the furniture is hidden beneath white sheets. Across the room, there are stairs leading up. That's where the noise seems to be coming from, so you exchange a look with Necron and nod. You make your way through the building, quiet and careful. You doubt that your presence can possibly have remained unnoticed, but something about making noise in this place unnerves you. Silence reigns absolute in the mansion, besides the ever-present knocking. It grows louder as you walk into the second floor and down a dusky hallway. All of the doors around you are shut, with no light coming through the cracks around them. All except for one. The door at the end of the hallway is framed by a faint aura of light. Necron whispers under his breath. That's where the noise is coming from? You nod, keeping your eyes locked on it. Fucked up shit happening. Once you have closed the remaining distance, you pause for a moment to collect your thoughts. Knock, knock. You really don't want to open this door. Open the door, Cecily. Find out what is inside. But you also don't want to stay here any longer than necessary. You turn the knob, the door slowly swings open, you step inside. For a moment, the light filling the room overwhelms you. You resist the urge to shield your eyes from it, adjusted to the ever-present darkness as they are. You blink rapidly, and a circular room comes into focus in front of you. What is this? What? Statues line the walls, taking up the alcoves between the windows, and your sweeping glance across the room is enough to tell you that they're as grotesque and painful as the rest of the art you've seen here. There's something in the center of the room, another sculpture, but you don't have time to inspect it. A figure stands in front of it, and you finally see Valtel Gertie for the first time. Oh. So he's perfectly fine. He just fucking worried everyone for no fucking reason. What the fuck? That's fucked up. You're not sure what you expected, but the thin, frail-looking individual in front of you was Nick's. He's got his back turned towards you, and he doesn't seem to notice your presence. His entire body is still but limp somehow, as if it's only a matter of time before gravity pulls him to the floor. Is he malnourished or something? Is he like... What's he doing to himself? The knocking has stopped. The chisel and hammer in his hands tell you what the source of the sound had been. Valtel Gertie? Your voice echoes around the room, crashing back into you much louder than you could have anticipated. He doesn't turn around. I don't know if that's supposed to be very inspired or just inspired. What voice do I've been feeling inspired lately. His voice is amplified by the echo too, but it's even, emotionless. I'm gonna try to just do a fucking Russian accent, but I can't do that. I can't really do a good Russian accent, so it's gonna be terrible. But he gives that kind of vibe. Beside you, Necron shuffles with unease. His eyes are locked on Valtel. He's waiting, but you know if this situation takes a turn for the worse, he'll be ready to act. You take another step towards Valtel. Mr. Gertie, we're here to ask you some questions pertaining to a case where... What do you want when your work loses its... What do you do when your work loses its meaning? Do you keep going through the motions because that's who you're supposed to be? Or do you accept that you're nothing without it? None of it matters. His words put you on edge as much as the deadpan delivery does. You can't help but wonder if he's aware that he's speaking to you. As if on cue, he turns to face you. His gaze slides over you and Necron and falls to the floor. His placid, vacant expression does not change on the sight of two strangers in his home, and he speaks again in the same unaffected tone. I haven't had visitors for a while. A shadow crosses his face with his next words. None that I could see anyway. What does that mean, Valtel? Predictably, he ignores your imploring tone. His eyes lock on yours for a moment, then dart away again. How did you get past them? Past whom? The maze and the things in it. We just found a way out of it. No. He glances at you again, and for a moment, you wonder whether he's talking about the same things you encountered. The things in the maze, do you know what they are? His gaze falls back to the floor, but for a moment you see a flicker of something new in his eyes. Fear. He wraps his arms around himself. You shouldn't have come here. Valtel, we came here to help. We were informed that you may be in danger. He takes a step back, bristling as if you moved to attack him. Of course I am. We all are. I think we did actually come across the things he mentioned once. The thing that closed the game. Then when I reopened it, it just wasn't there. I think that's what he's referring to here. You stay silent, trying to collect your thoughts. You're unsure how to proceed. It's clear that the trouble in front of you is not entirely lucid, and you're scrambling for a way to get through to him. While you're contemplating, Necron gestures to attract your attention. Regulator? He points across the room. Is that statue bleeding? It certainly seems to be. You and Necron exchange confused looks. Should you mention this without hell? You turn back towards him. He hasn't budged from his defensive pose. You decide to try asking him some questions. Oh my. I like doing this stupid, terrible Russian accent, actually. Even if I suck at it, it's fun. Alright, so, well, let's see. I think these two are probably the most important ones, but let's see how long he's doing this first. When did you last see your mate, Spritz? Valtel's face darkens. It feels like a very long time. It must have been a few vices. It's been hard to keep track of it. His fingers tighten around his arms as if he clutches hard enough, he can ground himself in the moment. That's when it clicks for you. His exhaustion, the way he seems dazed and unsteady on his feet, and keeps fading in and out of awareness. You must be experiencing withdrawal. You feel a pang of sympathy, familiar as you are with a constant discomfort. It doesn't take long for it to kick in either. If his estimation is correct, the symptoms are rather severe by this point. For a moment, Valtel's expression softens. He murmurs barely above a whisper. I miss him. Just as quickly, the motion fades from his face. You swallow around the lump in your throat and bring yourself to speak. Valtel, your partner's been trying to reach you. He's been worried sick since you cut contact. Cut contact? You have to fight the urge to recoil. Instinctively, you reach for your weapon. Valtel just keeps talking, the momentary fury seeping from his features. I have been trying to contact him this entire time. Texting, calling, he never responded. He left me all alone here and I'm trapped. Trapped? I can't leave. I know what's waiting out there. We can help you get out of here. I'm sure Jinju will be... It's not safe. Not just for me, for anyone. Terrible things are coming. He seems more agitated, tension building in his shoulders. So he didn't cut contact. And I think that kind of answers... That sort of answers this question too, but... I don't know. Why did you barricaded? I would be dead otherwise. There are monsters on the other side, unlike anything either of us have seen. They're trying to get through. They're watching me, biding their time until I give up. I cannot ever let my guard down. Buddy, no one's... He cuts himself off, and you know he's thinking about Noxus. How much of what's been happening here has been because of him? I don't think it's just Noxus, cause, these things, I'm pretty sure we got killed by whoever these belong to. It might even be their own entity, really. I don't know. Or, why, fucking phone? I'm not answering that. Or, like, going back to the end of this. Why did it say I never went to any of this? Of course I did. This. Don't these eyes belong to him? Show me the face, please. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't belong to him. So then, what do these belong to? Maybe they don't really belong to anyone. Maybe they're just kind of their own real chaotic entity, like something beyond the other side. I don't know. Really could be anything, huh? It looks like Valtel doesn't enjoy this long questioning, however. He's gripping his sides, eyes narrowed at the floor. I honestly don't know what to make of this. So, is that statue bleeding? Valtel lets out something that's almost a scoff. Of course it's not bleeding. Stone doesn't bleed. He moves another step away from you. Okay, so we don't get a fucking answer, you fucking bitch. How dare you? I'm not sure if I like you very much, but then again, it's also kind of obvious you're not really yourself. You know? So I kind of understand why you're acting this way, even if I don't really approve of that. What are you working on? Oh? He lights up almost imperceptibly. Then he moves aside to give you a clear view of his sculpture. Yeah, what is this? I call this one Portrait of the Artist. Your breath catches. Before you stands a stone amalgamation of hands and faces and limbs, dripping, tangled together, bare bones sticking out places they don't belong, mouths warped in expressions of agony and anger. It's incomplete, though the chunks of formless stone seem to belong to this composition as much as its other elements. Huh. You will yourself not to shudder at the sight. I've been working on this piece for so long, but it never seemed to be quite done. There's always something missing. It's surreal gnarly, I'll give you that. Valtel looks at his face for the first time since you entered the room. He must be trying to determine whether this remark was meant as a compliment or an insult. Whatever conclusion it comes to, it doesn't seem to satisfy him. His eyes keep flicking to you with something teetering on open panic. All of your questions seem to run into a stone wall. It's hard to reach Valtel. I don't know. The phone got changed, and the phone in the room I'm in now doesn't really work, so if I want to answer it, I have to, leave the room entirely. I don't really care about answering the phones most of the time, so it doesn't really matter, but sometimes I should. Something else is the phone doesn't really have caller ID, so I don't know who's calling when it happens. Anyways, it's hard to reach Valtel, and even the fragmented responses he does give you are confusing and difficult to follow. He's clearly in no fit state to be questioned. If anything, your interrogation only made it worse. He stepped even farther away from you now, opening a wide rift of bare stone between you. His eyes keep darting around, to you, the Necron, then the door like he's looking for a way out. You decide to try one more time. Valtel, have you heard the moniker Noxus? His anxious fidgeting stops, but he doesn't respond. You don't give up. What about obnoxious antidotes? Have you talked to him? How does he contact you? No. His eyes have become unfocused. They're looking in your direction, but they're empty, seeing something far beyond you. I don't want your questions. They're not going to be of any use to you. They will not help you with what's to come. The war that's coming isn't going to be one that you'll fight. Leave. He turns away from you, signaling that he wants this conversation to end. But you can't go just yet. You need this victory. You take a step closer to Valtel. Please tell me what you know. You get no response. Please tell me what you know. Valtel is quiet. His shoulders are shaky. Cecily, tell me. No! Uh-oh. He whips around like a taut string being released, and his eyes are glowing a burning white. And you don't even have the time to ask what's happening before your entire body goes very, very cold. You can't move. Red bleeds into your vision, swirling around you until you feel like you're looking at the room around you through thick, viscous liquid. Then, there is no room. You're all by yourself again. Have you ever not been? The cold is an overpowering numbness that starts where your blood pressure should be and weighs your entire body down. Part of you knows you should fight it. You should resist. You have a reason to. I don't... You don't know. You don't know. You don't remember. It's getting hard to think, and you're so cold. Alina. You're too late for that. You couldn't do anything to save her. You didn't even learn the truth for weeks. You failed her, as you will fail everyone else. With that thought searing your mind, your vision finally goes dark. And then he used his ability and his eyes got all wacky and he paralyzed you. You're leaning back against the table, looking at Necron as he recounts the events of the previous night to you. Your neck is still uncomfortably stiff. Natch, I jump at him and hit him square in the head. He ate all that hard, so he was out for the count pretty much straight away. And then he passed out on the floor, had to carry you both through that maze. He laughs sort of sheepishly, and you have a hunch about what he's going to say next. Lucky I have a chainsaw, made the whole business easy. You don't have it in you to mourn Veltel's maze, and frankly, you doubt he does either. Yeah, honestly, good fucking riddance. Even though it's still there. But we kind of left him all alone. Even if he still had like 2 people with him, those 2 people weren't there. He was honestly alone, and that's kind of scary. At least he's fine. Because really, who does know what's in there? There are certainly things just around. Terrible things. Who even knows what they are? No one does, not even me. And I've seen almost the entirety of that stair aside from the latest pages. I'll try to continue this when it reaches 1600 or whatever. I don't get why this suddenly went, oh no, you haven't read this, no! I don't get that, cause I did that. I read all of this, and yeah, it's just, no, you didn't read this, you fucking idiot. Weird. I should probably keep that there, I guess. As long as it got the job done. Sure it did. Anywho, I rang Orca up and she gave us a ride. Took Veltel to another pal to help him recover. He's gonna be back with Jinju in no time flat. Necron's grin splits his face into almost even parts. It's not hard to tell he's elated. We won this round, regulator! You wish you could feel anywhere as confident or excited about it as Necron does. As it is, only thinking about the events of the past night make you nauseated. Honestly, I kind of wonder what it was like when all this started happening. Thankfully, you're prevented from having to ruin his enthusiasm when the door opens and Sestro steps inside. Necron gives him a curious look. Howdy, Chief! Sestro pauses, giving Necron a look with raised eyebrows, then directing it at you instead. You shrug a single shoulder. Sestro considers you, then lets out an almost imperceptible sigh. He nods at Necron. Hello. I'm glad you've come back to yourself, Cecily. How are you recovering? I'm fine. You realize that must sound terribly unconvincing, so you add, tired, it's been a long night. Sestro nods, although you're not sure he buys it. Still, he doesn't press further. You didn't think you would. The executive would like to talk to you when you're able. Right away then, you think? Somehow you weren't expecting to be able to rest soon. Alright, thank you for letting me know. There's something hopeful in his expression as he takes his leave. Later, you feel like the past 12 hours have taken from you everything that they could, but you still have a call to make. But Sherry picks up just when you start to think she's not going to. Cecily? It's good to hear you. Are you alright? Yeah, a lot's happened. Can you talk? I can. Give me a moment. There's a brief rustling sound, and you hear her talk to someone on her end. I'm sorry, darling. I need to take this. Cool. Snare. Who's Snare? Did we meet her? Oh wait! They're the one in Volume 7! I mean, no, the fucking Volume 9! Right? Alright, that's interesting. Who's this? Who's Sepros? Sepros is an OC, right? Okay, hello, who are you? Holy, no, fuck, I keep making a fucking mess. Help. But alright, that's cool. Cool, take your time, I guess. Fuck, I'll figure out a voice in Volume 9. Another rustle, a moment of silence, and then you hear Mystery addressing you again. Alright, tell me what's been going on. Oh, okay, we don't have to sit through all this. Whoa. What is this? Who's that? Guessing that's the mate spread that was mentioned many times? Hold on. I'll pause to get a drink, but I want to like see something real quick. I want to see if that mate sprint has page actually. Ah, they do. Oh, that's them, okay. They're cute, honestly. It'd be cool to actually kind of see them more, but yeah. Not much is known about them. Be the first. I'm the first. Wait. No, stop. Whoa, how do I make this non-capital U? No. I don't want that to be capital. Stop it. Bad. I don't use that. I don't funny right like that. You. Can I just like there. Like there we go. I cheated the system. And now I'm the first to comment on do this one. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm hoping I am, though. Alright, gonna get more drink because my throat started to die. Then I'm going to get into the good one. I barely know anything about them, and I love them. Oh my fucking Sabine, whatever. I'm fucking excited for this. They look like a fucking gremlin, and I'm excited. Well, time to go. It feels good to say you're on the right track. Oh. Are you sure this is right? Okay, let's just kind of unpack all of this. Let's look over these characters and see what we can see. That seems familiar. Not completely sure why that pendant there seems familiar, but yeah. You look like a little fucking literal bug. Like, yeah, trolls are like bug aliens, but like, you look like a bug. More so. Oh my god, a little fucking dog there. What? Is there anyone here Is there anyone here I should recognize? What? Wait. What the fuck is going on here? Okay. Well, what's that? What's that tail? Is she like, or are they like wearing a tail, or is there like a fucking animal there? Does this dog have a fucking huge tail? And there's a little rabbit there, just fucking loose eye. Little tiny little size. It's amazing. Even if you can't say it metaphorically, you can always say it literally. You can always say it literally on the Stronghold 21 monorail service. Just you today. Necron's still busy recovering from your last encounter. As much as he and Orga insisted you chillax for a second, you've got a job to do. You know damn well that Necron is probably still gallivanting about on his own mission, however. The man exudes the same exact refusal to sit still as you do. You do think it was a good call on your part not to take Mr. Knifehand to see a literal child, though. No offense to him, of course, but impressions are important when dealing with the impressionable. Oh, what? So wait, what's this? What is that? This little clown person. The little, tree branch hand person. I don't know. There's a lot going on here, and I like it. I like how much life this background gives out. So here you are, on a train, waiting. So it's like being a fucking child, is that what it's saying? It might be impossible to stall on a moving train, but if you could, it's hard to deny that you might. You were warned, after all. Recall Masheri Labita. That's not just earlier today, actually. Her look of a second-hand exasperation told you all you need to know. Oh, the fucking chillax for a second thing that was referring to, the last volume. I forgot that canonically the events of, the other thing have not happened. Like, the two routes do not... I don't know. You're going to visit Sabine Barrere. Yes, that is, in fact, what you just said. Repeated verbatim for some reason. You look worried. Should I be following suit in your professional opinion? I'm sure you have your reasons, whatever they may be, but you'll need something before you go. You keep the conversation going while you watch her root around in her thermal hull. Curious. He was present at the awards ceremony. If anybody would have overheard hushed whispers of illegality, it would be him. His records claim he has powerful control over sound and frequency. Oh! Okay. That's a good reasoning. You hear her sigh something that vaguely sounds like, boy does he ever. You ask her what was that. She pulls out a flask instead of answering. That's an answer for you. A little too early for that, isn't it? It's a mountain... Imagine I have just retreated from behind a glass pane. The kind reserved for emergencies. Show your meal sack some mercy and don't use it all straight away. So wait, she gave it to us? Oh god, she did. You're no stranger to soda. With the number of attacks you've endured, you've guzzled enough medicinal syrup to give a Tuscany's a serious addiction. These things are usually found in their signature packaging, but the smaller container allows for more controlled portion sizes, yes. Not that it's common practice to overdose on this stuff in the first place. They are the primary means of hydration on your planet, after all. What the hell else would it be? Water? Fuck no! Okay, that sounds unhealthy, but then again, trolls have different biology, and that has already been... with the fucking, what's her name? No, actually, what is her name? Turnin Kai. Fuck, I remembered right when I did not need to. Oh, hello there, Mr. Bones. How you doing? Or Mrs. Bones. Fucking boner. I forgot about that. Horrendous joke. How dare you? The actual medicinal uses and strength of the drinks varies by brand and flavor, so you guess dangerous overindulgence might be possible if one is committed enough to the cause. People who don't need some sort of fixing up usually just opt for Sprite, though. You retrieve the medicinal flask from your coat pocket. Ah, Mountain Dew, the universal remedy for headaches. Clearly foreboding by her crypticity and knowing smile confirmed that he's not serious enough of a threat to genuinely raise concern. Now, if it had been a Mountain Dew Code Red, then you'd be a little worried. That stuff is a real potent antidepressant. Hold on. What? Alright, I return. Anyways, fucking antidepressant. Code I've only really had Mountain Dew Code Red once. I don't actually remember my opinion on it. It was a long while ago. But Mountain Dew High Voltage, oh god, I used to fucking love that. I don't know why. I just did. I don't really like Mountain Dew that much, but I really like the High Voltage version of it in particular. I even asked for that, actually, if I'm able to. Or maybe I should... I wonder if there's like a gas station in walking distance that you can buy soda from. I think they might actually have both of those. So maybe I'll try walking down there today and seeing if I can buy stuff from there. I don't know. I do have some spare money that I don't really have any way to use. So yeah. Anyway, you notice a few people giving you weird looks, probably because drinking on public transport is strictly forbidden and frowned upon. The flask goes away again. They're still staring at you. Look, even if it had... fuck. Look, even if it had been alcoholic, you didn't even take a sip. They're being awfully rude right now, and... Oh god, Sabine. So they were on here? Hey you! The passenger behind you abruptly pipes up and you're struck by the thought that you might have just figured out why people were looking in your direction. Oh my god. Yeah, you! You know what kind of monorail this is? And here you were thinking he didn't have an inside voice before. It has this piercing quality to it that's already driving you batshit up the belfry. Your eye catches the sigil he's wearing and everything suddenly makes sense. You've seen his records before. Would you happen to be Sabine Barrere? Depends. Is this a Baldwin 223 S3 class monorail system? That's a joke because there's no way that you would have the answer to that thing, as you are not as smart as I am. Seeing as how you're now sorely tempted to down this entire pain-killing beverage in the pocket in a single gulp, you think you found your next target. Recall Sabine Barrere. Oh no. The rhythmic, stilted laughter and the pained looks the other passengers are wearing confirm it. This is your guy. You haven't seen him visor to visor before, but you've heard many a tale about his antics. Most recently, demanding a dance number from Dursel for his drink at dinner. He's infamously known for badgering his fellow employee with IQ tests for the sole purpose of boosting his ego, claiming his own is over 9,000 points, and also constructively criticizing greed nitpicking the way people make their nachos every time the cafeteria hosts some lunchable sponsored event or another. People also complain about his reporting of extremely minor violations of corporate conduct to upper management, which he'd usually let slide. Nothing wrong with following the rules, or so you'd always say before. Nowadays, not so much. Regardless, he's mostly just known for being a real know-it-all kid. No threat, except to the secure placement of your marbles. Oh boy. Get to the point. Well, this is rather convenient. I was just on my way to pay you a visit. As I predicted, lol. There's something familiar about the way that I said lol just now. Flat, monotone, but more importantly, predicted? Oh, like the other guy from last volume that I liked. Was it last? I'm pretty sure it was last volume. I don't think I need this open again, so I can go back to channel. Which was it? Yeah, it was that one. Why the fuck else would Chief Regulator Cecilia Iapara be traveling to a home unit compound in Stronghold 21 after a theft occurred? You have so many problems with a string of words you just launch out of his mouth like some kind of verbal torpedo. First of all, his goddamn language. He's like, what, 6? You really should have a word with his Lucis. So, he's the funny homestuck age, haha! Second of all, the fact that he knows so much about your situation and intent without you even telling him 2 words about your destiny. Can he? Yes, I can read your mind, Cecily. And yes, I am smarter than you. What? No, that wasn't what I was... What? Well, he definitely just confirmed that he can't read minds in any case. The fact that this kid seems to know so much about the concoction you're chasing doesn't put you at ease, though. First things first, you need to keep your voices low. You can't let anybody else hear about this. How do you know about the theft? Be quiet for all mother's sake. This is sensitive information. I pay attention, Cecily. It's all a matter of observation and hearing other people say things from behind the shadows. Your powers must come in quite handy for things like this, mustn't they? What's it to you? Perhaps you'll end up being a better lead than you thought. It's always the tattletales that you can rely on. Almost makes up for the fact that this can barely be considered whispering. You're about to continue your line of thought when he abruptly jumps from his seat. Oh, it seems like it's the end of the line. Oh, that was lag. There we go. Smooth transition. That's what I'm looking for. You raise to your feet and turn and follow him out. Your vest seems unnecessary to immediately start bombarding you with directions, no matter how many times you dismiss the pesky things. One day you'll get Orca to explain those settings. Thankfully, Sabine seemed to be completely okay with bringing you straight to his home unit compound. No convincing necessary there. The first thing you notice is that he lacks the regular wooden doors that every other home unit has. His residence looks a little more customized and metallic. He swipes a keycard into his corresponding lock, and your earlier judgment proves to be an understatement. This place, even in the dark, is Computer Geek City. Wouldn't being in the dark make it more of Computer Geek City? I know I, for one, prefer to be in the dark, and I am a computer geek, I think. I don't know the full definition of it, but I think I am. Probably. I don't know. But, you suddenly feel slightly claustrophobic. Welcome, Regulator, to my lair! Instead of a cartoony lightning strike to emphasize his dramatic flair, the lights flick onto the sounds of something more like "boar," of something more like emphasis on the bone and italics. This feels like it violates a lot of residential agreement clauses, perhaps for the regular average schmuck. But like in many aspects and areas of Reptilian civilization, I am an exception, by which I mean I deviously gained access to a permit to renovate my pathetic ex-living station into a glorious work-at-home lair. Before you can properly formulate the thought that the layer denominator is somewhat endearing, he clears his throat. The absolute worst kind of music starts glaring from his supercomputer speakers. The way too loud kind, frick. Oh god. You're sensing a theme here. Turn that down this instant, young man! What was that? Couldn't hear you over the sound of my genius! What's absurd is that you have to yell over what you think is a bass drop, while his regular speaking volume is perfectly audible amidst the chaos. His voice is, against all odds, pushing the waves of his diabolical soundtrack aside, like some kind of mythological, oh fuck you, he's turning it up. Your hands are clamped over your ears as tightly as possible. You squeeze your eyes shut, and when you open them back up again, the overlay on your visor is helpfully informing you that you're getting a call. So he's basically God of sound, isn't he? Necron has undoubtedly picked the single worst time to check in. Still, it's probably important, so you make the world's most obvious I'm on the phone gesture at Sabine as you pick up. Hey, boss, excuse me for jumping on you. I just figured Necron, you're going to have to speak up! Despite you very clearly swiping your hand across your neck at your new DJ friend, Sabine fails to care enough to do anything in response, rubbing his hands together like a supervillain doesn't count. Oh god, I fucking love him. This is amazing. I sure have a knack for picking the depressing routes first, huh? Which is good, because having a better, more lighthearted route right after is nice. Alright. Jeez Louise, you investigating an erupting volcano or something, Seth? Don't reckon magma chambers ambush cargo trips on the regs, but prompts for being thorough. No, this is just really loud music. Yeah, it's crazy. No. What? Why would he do that? Why the fuck would he do that, Orica? Why? It's tough to hear, but you're pretty sure you heard Orica on the other line just then. Look, can I call you back? I don't think I have much of a shot at turning this music off anytime soon. I hate to break it to you, Tater Tot, but this is mad irrelevant. Not only that, but it's absolutely ace, too. Get this. We cracked how to ID Noxus. Gnarly, am I right? Oh, you see why this call couldn't wait now. This is extremely important shit. If only you could hear it without the accompanying soundtrack. Unfortunately, plugging your other ear with your finger doesn't help all that much with the horrid background noise in this room. In as short and clear a statement as possible, please, read duplication records. I got his number now, and by that I mean his sigil. Wow, that's impressive. Wow. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of getting access to the database. You can thank me later, skater. Touch base with me when you can. You really wish circumstances were quieter right now. You're just dying to know how Necron managed to score that kind of information. Perhaps more accurately, what kind of bait Noxus used to let Necron think he found it. You're plenty aware of his game by now. You hang up with a huff and look over to the smug little kid still blaring his dubstep, and you make it a point not to look amused. Before you can let your ear taste and get the best of you, you hear thumping coming from the floor. That is likely his downstairs neighbor. You'd wager he's about to file a formal complaint with the research department, whilst on the edge of being driven to physical violence by this maddening soundscape. I should know this person, right? They're that one scientist, right? Gonna have to look at this. Where's the character list? Alright. Oh, okay, that's good. Was dropped before the main? What does this mean? Oh, it was, okay. So anyways, I'm trying to fucking... Sabine. There. I'm trying to fucking figure out if I know who this is. Oh! Oh fuck, he has a theme! Oh. Oh, that, okay. Never mind. I swear I know this. Pros. It should be teal, right? I'm trying to... Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Teal, okay. Teal? Ah, that's who I was... Okay, yeah, it is him! This is what I was looking for. Just confirmation. Alright, so how do I do the voice? Sabine, I think you're being incredibly way too loud! The boys and I are trying to have... Oh wait, no. Sabine, you think you're being incredibly way too loud! The boys and I are trying to have a conversation here, and this is, quiet please! Silence, scrubworm! Sabine stumps on the floor like he's squishing a parasite in a Skull Titan graveyard, cackling in mirth and rubbing it all in as much as he can. 3 stumps and 5 stumps, just like his laugh. This boy is committed to that quirk of his. And then everything goes quiet. Thank the mother, sweet silence. You sigh in relief as Sabine glowers at his floor. What the? How dare you infiltrate my systems again? You'll pay for this, mark my words! If I may, Sabine, I don't have a lot of time right now. I came to pick your, brilliant mind. I require your talents. All this ringing in your audio cones is reminding you of another high decibel individual, which in turn reminds you that kissing ass is sometimes the fastest way to cut the crap. Sure enough, his sour mood appears to pick right back up at the sound of praise. Well, when you phrase it so reasonably, chop chop, inferior. How cute. He's trying so hard to sell the whole supervillain shtick. You hope it's intentional anyway. Time to pick his mind about. Aw, only 2 options. Well, a word's a nice way we came here. Of course, I'd like to know about him as a person, but let's go with what a fucking Cecily would pick. The main reason he came to visit the Junior Designer Center is rather heavily on his presence at corporate awards ceremony. You'd have to pick this option sooner or later. So, Sabine, I've heard many a tale about the extent of your powers. Given your recent displays, I doubt they're unfounded. I'm curious on where exactly your limits lie. Don't take that as a threat. Or a request. Limits? Don't have them! I can hear a pin drop in the black depths with my hands tied behind my back. You don't particularly envy the thought of being subjected to a constant stream of auditory overload. You also strongly doubt he can live up to such claim, but you'll focus on seeing if he can help you out. How do you imagine that drive just about anyone crazy? Is your hearing really that powerful? My power isn't sensitive hearing, mouth breather. That'd be dumb and idiotic of me to have. My capabilities are much more refined than just that, and almost certainly than yours. My brilliant mind has the ability to control and alter sound waves and frequencies through a process known as reverberifying, whatever the fuck. Is that even a real word? Your look of confusion must be evident because he seems to be trying to read your mind again. Please, you're telling me you're not up to speed on corporate's verbal efficiency policy? Reverberation and amplification, dumbass. You think you're starting to see Sirage's point. Vis-a-vis portmanteau-related time sinks. So, you're saying that you are able to listen to particular parts of complex soundscapes, like during, say, the awards night you recently attended? I'm only here to find out about... You think you'll retire the phrase burglary for the night, since he's proven it's more trouble than it's worth. The theft. You should leave unrelated topics at the door. I can indeed. However, usually I drown out the boring and simpleton-esque conversations of ignoramuses around me in large crowds. I did have to keep an ear out for my hot chocolate, though, so I might have overheard something. You feel like you're onto something at long last. You don't even register what you're doing when you lean in a little closer in interest. I'm listening. The band collectively realized that her necklace was missing after their first performance of the night. Wait, what? Wrong thing. They were flipping their shit over something without practical use. Sentimental value or something? The singer said she might faint. Here's my theory for when it was stolen based on security guard patterns and blind spots in the surveillance systems. What are you talking about? You know exactly what crime Sabine is referring to, but the next question leaves your mouth in a burst of desperation and denial. What theft do you think I'm here for? The stolen necklace, duh! What theft are you here for if not some apparently priceless personal accessory? A wave of feeling washes over you. A little feeling you like to call God fucking damn it! You should have known you'd have no idea about the filter! You have your doubts this kid has seen so much as a playground scrap. First of all, that case had already been closed. The necklace wasn't even stolen, simply misplaced. Trust me, not worth thinking about. Second of all, what I'm currently investigating is a lot more serious. It's always a tough call, knowing who to tell information to. You shouldn't trust anyone, much less someone so potent about spreading the word. Besides, he's just a kid, no need to get into grisly details. People died this time. That's the gist of what you need to know. Ha! His eyes are hidden behind his visor, so it's even harder than usual for you to get a good read on him. You wonder if even that was a step too far for his developing mind. Whatever, you need information. Well, that seems to have gone through to him. Right? Like, he actually seems to be concerned now. What, if anything, did you hear about route data that night? I know for a fact that it was discussed at the event. Spare no detail. The or else is implied. Well, I heard that someone was worried about the integrity of some route data they'd purchased. Purchased? Elaborate on that. Some schmuck goes around selling information? I'd hypothesize she's been doing it for 2 weeks. Demands a pretty ring for it too. I remember the words database in real time. My drink came soon after, so that's all I picked up on. Should have mentioned the place of ID for model trains if they wanted my attention. This is a lot of very interesting information. You especially take note of the pronouns you just used. Huh. If they, so multiple. Oh, she's! Okay, it's a she. So that does kind of narrow things down somewhat. Well, oh, I just noticed a little train back there. I guess that's... I mean, hey, I can't argue. Trains are pretty cool. Is that... what? Is that the music? They mentioned trains. What? I think I actually want to listen to this song later. This is alright. That's incredibly helpful, which I'll confess is a nice change of pace. Thank you for your cooperation. I think you mean thank you for my vision. Excuse me? Monitor, play file victory353.zip for the uninitiated. Oh no. You follow his line of sight, only for it to land on a previously deactivated monitor hung on the wall nearby. It flickers onto a recording from that night. Past Sabina's past currently being handed a certificate of some kind. In the past, by none other than Hamifi Heekrix herself. He's clearly laughing his signature laugh despite being now currently muted. Ha! That night, I received the Junior Creative Vision Certificate by Miss Heekrix herself. If she's... I can't even tell if she's trying to fake smile or not. It's hard to tell. She is personally very proud of me, and I refuse to accept any lesser forms of praise. You initially brushed this off him as him fanning for his own ego, but upon further inspection of the footage, he's bragging about... Well, you suppose Hamifi did always have a soft spot for the little ones, ah? Okay, maybe so the smile was genuine? Okay, that's nice, honestly. Her mask is one of the most impervious to scrutiny you've ever seen, a fact that you admittedly take a certain amount of pride in. Either she gives you genuine strict scorn or nothing at all, but caring for your race's young, it gives her a purpose, a legacy. The lady's got one tough mask, but you've seen the way her face softens for yourself. Very rarely, but you know her well enough to know that the subtle effects of this display on the monitor is in the mask. That night, Junior Creative Vision Certificate. Tomorrow, the world! As for your own legacy, same that aforementioned world with any luck. Alright, let's learn about this little shit occupation. I am scared, but interested. You're a junior designer, I hear, at such a young age to boot. Well, I mean, I do like his room design. Can't deny that. Emphasis on the word junior, seeing the hints of grub on his cheeks, make you feel like the gray hairs on your head are flashing neon white. My occupation is indeed to pump pure innovation into the lifeblood of corporate, but more importantly, it is my vision to guide all of Trollkind to a brighter and more advanced society. To be honest, I kind of wanted to, join the fucking... there's one vast era dub that's ongoing by someone named... someone with the username Gal. You. Nah. I don't think I need to even find it, really, but, yeah, I kind of wanted to join a while back, because, I'm proud of my Club 6 voice. Fucking shit! I don't even know what to say, but I fucking love Club 6. But now, I kind of wonder if I could actually manage to get a voice in for Sabine here. Because I fucking love doing this voice. I don't even care if I already read this. But more importantly, it is my mission to guide all of Trollkind to a brighter and more advanced society. That's what it says on your job description, is it? Tall order. It's what it says on my reduplication certificate, actually. Oh, hi. Frick. Okay, Frick, some food just got delivered here, which is nice, but I plan to finish this first. Alright. Right under the part where it all but confirms I am the beginning of the next evolution of Trollkind. Alright then. This is all just a little too much for you, so you just brush right past the last statement. You've seen enough cults determined to prove themselves fate shepherd for one lifetime, especially since you're still worried about the ones you may have confirmed actually exist. But what do you get paid to do exactly? This lab screams genetic experimentation crossed with radio station. You have to forgive me if I fail to see any junior designing happening in here. Unless you're saying you design all of this machinery, but I would think that makes you an engineer, not a designer. Aren't you on the graphics payroll? His answer is spoken with as much interest as someone being paid to watch paint dry. I make money designing logos for corporate departments, products, couple scorp themes. It's a negligible aspect of my nightly routine. To put it in layman's terms, it's whatever. Not the most productive assets I could be utilizing my precious time on. That attitude strikes you as nothing but bizarre considering the way this egomaniacal kid has acted so far. You can't imagine him being anything but boastful about all products that bear his initials. You'll put away the thought for now. Instead, you're wondering why he feels so detached from the work that pays his bills. I'm sure there are better outlooks to take on your career than self-deprecation. Surely you wouldn't be paid for it if your work was subpar. Stop laughing, what's so funny? In one swift kick to the gut, you're suddenly reminded of the scent of freshly grown hot dogs, or rather, you would call it a scent. Eyes on you, unabashedly soaking in your radiant wings of misfortune. Sabine succeeds his snickering and thankfully misses the warm flesh of shame that courses through you. You think people don't pay up for shitty graphics, huh? How naive and so very foolish of you. Thankfully, I know better than to overestimate the taste of our Wolfie's mind population. Observe. Monitor, play file portfolio 322.vid for the noob. The monitor on the wall switches from its earlier program to a slideshow of vibrant logos. Steamed hams, no. Why has that become a meme? And, like, okay, Master parts. God, go hell. Oh, hey, turning it in. Fucking turning. Turning is cool. Bling. Like, I want to see what kind of products Leg makes. Isn't XYZ like an actual company name? And of course, Spotty Wi-Fi. Spotify for short. Oh god. I will say you're good at this. Fucking Leg. Perhaps too vibrant. Man, dark colors really aren't his style. That is to say, you're trying to find a polite way to inform him that these couldn't possibly be worth a position on the corporate payroll. Your eyes are starting to hurt. This is, how do I put this? Are you sure your monitor is functioning correctly? Absolutely sure? Given a second more thought, you'd have likely come to the conclusion that this is the reason you don't endeavor to talk to children on the regular. Are you implying that I am incapable of meeting my own standards, Cecily? This is literally what I get paid for, and the population simply eats it up! You're so lost right now. Granted, you've been feeling lost for a while, but this takes the pastry fortress for the most significant emotional dissonance of the whites. It's supposed to look god-awful, Regulator. It's all a part of my incredibly devious scheme. I make this visual garbage and people pay for it, right? This automatically makes me superior to failing artists who try their best and never make it. It's a little thing called being unstoppable. I'm sure you can understand. Is that the reason your audio work renders my ThinkPad completely incapable of higher functionality? If I hear one more wub sound, I swear my skull is going to split open in protest. Do you ever try your genuine best, ever? Uh-oh, he's scowling right now. This is the part where you realize you can't talk to kids. Well, not kids like this one at least. Yes, my music is also terrible on purpose. I make a living through the absolute worst practices. Hey, I actually like this music though. It takes a very high IQ to understand my art, an inherent quality I expected from someone so renowned. Try to keep up, Cecily. Next question. You're not sure if he's hurt because you called his music terrible or because you didn't realize that was the entire point. You're done shoving your foot through your mouth. Moving on. You're done shoving your foot in your mouth, though. Moving on. Explore lab? Lab. It astounds you that this is his residence. You're still in a residential building, and yet it seems like he's trying to compete with Oculus for the academic excellence of the Sweep Award. Need to take a breath there. You spare a moment to hope that he's doing okay, and wonder if his matron has been told about what happened during your investigation. You also hope that O.C. Raines knows that her matron almost died in order to protect her. That he succeeded where you... Observing my workstation, are we? Jealous? His voice cuts through the air like a ribbon. You should not dwell on these thoughts, lest you discover that he somehow really can read your mind. Oh god. I honestly wasn't even surprised when he first went, oh yeah, I can read your mind. It's me, the fucking... I don't even know where I am going with this. Please help. Oh god. But yeah, I wasn't even surprised at first. I was just like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that, but that makes sense. And then it just kind of hit me when it was like, yeah, this guy can't read minds. But of course, I can't say that I know many people who live in a place quite so well-equipped. You're certainly unique. I should have gathered sooner that you would be aching, dying even, to explore my laboratory. You've now learned that he also has the power to make his voice literally echo on top of everything else he's displayed. Oh my fucking god. It does a surprisingly good job at throwing off your sense of direction, actually. It's disorienting to hear his voice completely surrounding you when he's only 6 feet in front of you. You power through it regardless. Excellent. Feeds your eyes on the incredibly rare genius fowl's natural habitat. He presses 2 fingers to his forehead and looks as if he's entering a state of hiding concentration. You hear light whirring. What? Before you realize it's coming from behind you, something collides with the back of your couch and knocks you off your feet. You curse louder than you'd like as your posterior hits the cushion underneath it, and quickly gather that you're now seated on some kind of mobile chair. A second one approaches, Barrere from behind, but he's ready for it. You're assuming that's why he leaned backwards and remained unfazed by his sudden seating arrangement. Call it a hunch. Oh, mother, warn me, perhaps? You are merely treated to rhythmic crackling as both of you are steered closer to the giant supercomputer in the middle of the lab. Easily within walking distance, mind you. That's the most insulting part. It would have taken 5 seconds to get over here. You have a feeling he just wanted you to fall flat on your ass. Welcome to the one and only stop on this tour, because this is all you need to wrap your feeble mind around. It doesn't? Almost as an answer to your question, the 6-monitor technological behemoth in front of you roars to life. With the size of this thing, it looks like it might belong in the Tom Cruise Memorial Theater too. It dominates your peripheral vision when you're standing this close to it. You can only guess at the complexities of whatever intricate systems race into overdrive with this one single word. The rising pitch of what you imagine is 1 million tiny robot calculators smashing against each other reminds you that you have no idea how computers work. The thought unnerves you. I've been doing that a lot reading Last Era recently, kinda starting a sentence with the wrong tone and then like realizing it when the sentence kind of switches tone halfway, and I was like, oh god, oh fuck, I fucked up. But I just keep going with it until I'm done with it, and then just end up being confused by the time I finish the sentence. I should try to pay more attention. Log in! One would normally expect a text input window if one were to say log in. Maybe a card key or a fingerprint scanner if you were feeling fancy, or just a regular key if you're paranoid about technology. When his keyboard flips up to reveal a logged-in camera, you wonder if he has some kind of eye-scanning system in place before noting how he is definitely not taking his dark visor off. Does it scan his sigil or something? There are only so many password input possibilities. As it turns out, the answer is none of the above. Indeed, Sabine breaks out into some kind of juvenile jig, and you notice a corresponding digital skeleton that mirrors his movements on screen. Oh my god! This is how one gains access to your computer? This seems wildly insecure. At least he has a password system, but all it would take is a little choreography before you're in. I mean, to be honest, dancing is hard, and people's first guess would not be to fucking dance. Is that his username, Competitive Critic? Hold on. I want to see his username. Does he have it? I need to know this, actually, for, research. Oh, okay. He canonically sounds and laughs like Mandark. Who is Mandark? I keep hearing this character from, like, a group of friends I was in before. Not really in my group of friends anymore, but, like, Mandark. These are like a cartoon character. I'll have to look that up later. Alright, he finishes his jiving by crossing his arms proudly, and the screen switched to his desktop. Hi, Oreo. What are you doing? Good kitty. What are you doing? Oreo is a good cat. Alright. It's a chaotic mess, to say the least. Oculus was clean and minimalistic. This looks more like those conspiratorial leaked x-rays turning Kaikai's digestive system than a proper workstation. If it's so insecure, I'd like to observe your uncultured glutes break into my system. I bet you don't even know the name of that dance, old bag. I'm most certainly cultured. I am not. That's not even a lie, not by any stretch. It's hard not to pick up on a wide array of subjects when you've seen as many far-flung corners of the world as you have. That being said, you haven't the faintest idea what he was doing. If only Orica were here. She knows the ins and outs of informal cultural practices like the back of her wrench. Wait. Hold on. I think I'm being paranoid. I thought someone called me. But maybe that was just Oreo's meow. I got freaking confused. I don't know. If only Orica were here. Oh yeah, your pride won't allow it. You read some headlines, you got this in the bag. Of course I know the name. Who wouldn't be familiar with... Okay, let's think here. Illegally crossing the street. I was going to go for this one, but illegally crossing the street dance? What? No, there aren't even the words for how wrong that is. That nonsense isn't even quantifiable, because as we all know, I'm moronic enough to violate corporate policy and endorse the act of unsafe transportation methods to other corporate employees. Illegally crossing the street, what a foolish guess. Men who are grown up, you sure are dumb. Whatever, I didn't bring you here to prove your inferiority. I'm not even that. Fucking rhythmic body movements. The rhythmic body movements dance? I mean, yes, that is a somewhat objectively true statement, but sure as heck isn't the proper noun for what I just did. Okay, fucking yo vengeance. Don't act like you're not saying that just because of my blood color. I can read your mind, remember? No. I wanted to say adrenaline. If you are talking about the feeling you get when you are in my presence, I suppose I could allow that, but you sure have a weird way of dancing around fairly simple subject matters. It's no big deal. I'm just that incredible. Okay, fine, fang brushing. Okay, fang brushing is lame anyway. That's the easiest dance to pull off, and it's definitely not password worthy. It's a one-way trip to being hacked, pro tip. Okay, then. You're right, carry on. Alright, you got me. I haven't the faintest idea. Personally, I find that to be a lackluster and unfair criterion for this form of judgment, but what do I know? You don't need to see his eyes to tell that he's only left behind his visor, probably while internally critiquing your cultural blind spots, if they are smug sats back in the day then go by. He does to enjoy holding the topical upper hand in casual conversations. Alright, whatever. I didn't bring you here to prove your inferiority. I brought you here to prove my superiority. So, we're not gonna learn the name of the dance? I am sad. Sabine starts typing something into his computer, and you couldn't interpret it for the life of you. It's all unknown acronyms and shorthands flashing by at blazing speeds. What is this? You stop paying attention to his antics in favor of observing the lab around you. Instead, you doubt he'll give you a tour after this. It's surprisingly roomy in here, despite the giant mutant computer smack dab in the middle of it all. You'd wager that's because this is the only room he has. There are no other doors or halls beyond the entrance. It's Recuperacoon is right in the corner. Wait, is that his load gaper? Discrete seams on the floor surround the designated sanitation block area, indicating where the walls should be. Are they tucked inside the floor somehow? Before you can ask why his sanitization block walls seem to be directly colliding with the living space of his downsourced neighbor, you hear the muffled sound of hot, hot, oh, we got it, hot, hot, yeah, what? You turn to Sabine for an explanation, and all he has for you is a grin. You fool! You jumped right into my trap! I brought you over here solely to regain access to my computer for revenge against Krytum. Now he has to listen to the hot chocolate song loop on his computer for the next 6 hours! What is the hot chocolate song? Fast error. What is the hot chocolate song? Oh, from the oh no. Do I even dare? Do I dare? Probably should shut this up. Oh, that's loud. Fuck. That was loud. What is this?
Oh, we got it! Hey, we got it! Say, we got it! Oh, we got it! So, we got it! Yo, we got it!
Are there any comments about this?
Here we've only got one rule. Never, ever let it cool. Keep it
Oh, God.
in the pot.
I don't see anything about it.
Oh, we got it! Hey, we got it! Say, we got it! Oh, we got it!
It's probably not a reference,
We
but
got it! Yo, we got it! Here we only got one rule. Never, ever let it cool. So you got hot chocolate.
I can't think of anything better to say here. You know what? Where's the neighbor person?
Here we only got one rule. Never ever let it go.
Let's just... I'm fucking doing that. I'm not even gonna try this period there. I just... I have no words. I really have no words. But I would... But... I wouldn't mind listening to that on loop for 6 hours. I truly do wonder why you're even allowed in the communal home tower. Realistically, you know it's because of his status. Most residents of Stronghold 21 who are quote-unquote ordinary live in apartments like these. Members of the higher shades of the spectrum are given certain financial bonuses for the sheer act of existing due to their scarcity. It's especially rare to see them here. Actually, there's a very simple explanation for why my genius is trapped in the drab confines of combat civilization. To test my skills, to observe my capabilities in a layman's environment. Can I thrive even with the primitive tools given to me? The answer is yes. If it's any comfort, my apartment isn't that extravagant either. I'd wager this is actually more furnished than my place. Furnished. I can appreciate the dedication to your job, even if this is frankly a little over the top. Well, if your place is sparser than this, then I guess I'm already better than you. You wouldn't quite put it like that exactly. Charitably, you decide to not argue the point. You don't even dare to imagine what he would sound like if he was wailing. As much diabolical credit as it might give him, you really doubt you have any reason to be suspicious. You've got all the details you need from him, too. Your work here is done. You have no more business messing around with this loud yet oddly endearing kid. You're in the middle of mentally going over the notes you'll recite to Yvette as soon as you leave, when out of the corner of your eye you catch something that makes your blood run cold. On its bottom left monitor, there's a flashing window begging for attention. Begging for your attention. A Scorp user is messaging your little genius, and worryingly, not for the first time, obnoxious antidote. I think that's a mistake on their part, actually. Because I think Sabine's just gonna make them fucking give up. I think this is gonna be like that one freaking situation of like people trolling Dave and Homestuck. Dave just fucking completely turns it around. That's probably what's gonna happen. Calling it now. It's not hard to skim the chat log even from a distance. The combined screen span of his operating system is massive. The seething rage strikes you like a bolt of lightning to the gut as you take in the words on display. Sabine, you keep your voice as calm as possible, trying to find some delicate way to break the ice. He hasn't noticed your alarm just yet. There's been an outbreak of concerning anonymous messages lately. Someone or someone's reaching out and talking about troublesome things. Have you been contacted by any strangers recently? Online, to be more specific? You're not sure if those quirked eyebrows are a concern or confusion, but when he notices you looking over his shoulder, he quickly runs over and closes the chat window. Alarm bells start ringing inside your head. Mr. Know-It-All still isn't answering your question. You need to press harder. Sabine, who is Obnoxious Antidote? You can see his stomach sinking due to your specificity. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. He seems bothered, but wiped clean from his face not 2 seconds later. Just some nobody desperately trying to leech off of my brains. Colorblind, too. Doesn't know a shade of gold text when he sees one. Lol. What makes you say that exactly? The moron thought I was a bronze blood, which is absolutely the dumpedest thing I've ever heard. Dumbest and stupidest? Precisely, it's that. It's that. I mean, I'm not even, my temperature isn't. You both fall into silence for a few seconds. The only sound making it to your ringing ears is the new soundtrack Frightum is apparently having to listen to downstairs. Oh, you mean this one? I'm just gonna leave that running. You wish you knew how to make him feel better. You really do. No matter how much he pushes... Okay, never mind. That's too loud. You wish you knew how to make him feel better. You really do. No matter how much he pushes your buttons, he's just a kid, trying his damnedest to act like he's okay. After the church, though, you're twice as cautious about shoving your foot far enough down your throat to step in your own digestive system, which unfortunately might be making things worse. Whatever, he's only proving my point, therefore calling me the real victor by proving me the real victor. His cleansing the world shtick doesn't hold a candle to mine. Talk about overkill. Do you know what kind of potent soul sap runs through these veins? You look like a regular gold blood to me. I honestly don't see where a notion of bronze could possibly come from. That's a very small lie. If you squint, you can sort of half tell what he's talking about. Something about his hue is just a little off. Is he a mutant? Also, what is his troll tag? Is competitive critic his troll tag? I wouldn't think so, cause that, but it is very important. Actually, I'm a mutant, Gold Blood. Knew it. Come again? He gives you a look of exasperation, as if he's told you this fact 100 times already. You won't understand it if I tell you scientifically, but oh well, try to keep up. Okay, that one definitely sounds condescending. But if you kept count on the number of times Sabine has almost offended you tonight, you would simply be wasting time. You accept that this is just who he is. At least now he's trying to give you a reason for it. My blood shade falls within the color temperature range of a bronze blood. Despite this, I'm officially documented as a gold blood. You open your mouth to ask him a question or two, but by the time the words come into your lips, he's cutting you off. Before you ask, the chemistry of my blood is identical to other goats and undergoes the same reactions. I am not a miscategorized bronze. Gold blood entering the think pan releases a chemical known as austenine. Did you know austenine is one of the most reactive hematological compounds? It's a key factor in the development of survival abilities for us. This mutation is evidence that I am the first in line of a brand new genetic evolution of troll kind. As such, I have just dubbed myself Insecto Novus. At this point, you're tired of being in an echo chamber of a superiority complex. Questioning him any further is probably only going to drag your stay out longer. And if you can reach him right, this seems to be its coping mechanism for dealing with his mutation. You don't exactly know enough about blood to dispute him anyway. Sure, interesting stuff. As noted in the past, you're not a very good actor and he sees right through your bland lack of explode think pan. You guessed it would be as such, but it was worth a shot. I can prove it! This is very heavily derailing the conversation. I really should be... Oh, what the hell, fine, show me what you got. What? Is that what Mandark sounds like? Oh no. Oh, okay. Let's mute this for a second.
At last, the first day of school has come!
Okay. Oh! Okay, that's not what I expected to look at. Fuck, that's louder. Trying to get to a good volume. I want to know what he... Where's he? Oh, there.
Is the correct answer to the...
Oh, wait.
Class, welcome to the new year.
Oh,
So
no,
let's
that's
get
the
right
teacher.
into it. Yes, the answer is hydrogen.
Oh,
Why,
no.
yes, that is the correct answer to the question I was about to ask. Oh, I almost forgot. I wanted to introduce our new student. Will you come up here, please, son?
Oh, God.
Class, say hello to Mr. Astronominov.
Please, sir, call me Mandark.
Okay, I would not deny that is I will not deny that's a fitting voice, but I like the voice I do better. It feels nice to do this voice, and it's something I'm actually proud of. Even though it's a very dumb voice. When you feel the mobile chair from before crash back into you, you can't help but curse under your own breath. You're not taking kindly to being thrown about like a rag doll. Your seat slides itself into place directly beside his computer, fastening with a click. What happens next is a sudden restriction of your wrist and a complete loss of vision as something hollow descends to cover your head. What are you doing? I don't know what this proves exactly, other than showcasing a disturbing level of ease, kidnapping people. Trapping my wrist doesn't make me trust you here. Oh, relax, you're not in any form of danger, except maybe your ego! Everyone always tries to take the scanner off at first, so I figured I'd just save myself some trouble by stopping you. All I'm doing is scanning the rapidity and clarity of your brain patterns. I'll then reveal to you a comparison to my own patterns, and then I'll show the whole world my genius. Nobody will question my brilliance. I will lead the revolution of invention, not Krytum, not some weird deformed sea dweller. Me! As much as you would feel threatened by literally any other individual, you're pretty sure you heard his voice crack just now. Hi, Oreo. What do you want from me? Mwah. Good kitty. Go back to the floor. No, don't. Oreo! When I put you on the floor, I didn't want you to leave. No. God damn it, you don't hurt kids. Well, not when you're your age, anyhow. You've given a few fellow youths a bruise or two. It was well deserved, though. Everything you do for her. Recall first scrap. You were forcibly sold, you and Alina, back when your love for her was a mere fledgling crush. You'd spent the day prior scavenging for flowers with your Lucis. Your Lucis insisted it was the single best way to get someone's attention. You had no idea how to talk to girls and make that literally anyone, so you trusted your Lucis, who in retrospect was probably just after nectar. A big bird moths can't get enough of flowers. And then the next night rolled around, and you were preparing to say your first ever words to her, if any at all. You weren't particularly chatty back then. What you ended up finding was a need to take cover and observe the storm brewing around Alina. 3 kids to be specific. You could hear words like pushover and doormat. You should have intervened right then. That was the first burning red flag. But you were scared. More so of getting her into trouble than taking 3 bullies on at once. Some people bear powerful grudges. And then the kid in the center grew tired of waiting for a coherent response from the trembling girl and shoved her to the ground. That snot-nubbed motherfucker. They haven't noticed her yet. You panicked. Your floral gift fell to the ground and you scrambled for a makeshift weapon. Anything would do. You ended up going with your fists. It was 3 versus 1. Even back then you knew it was a stupid plan, but it was worth it to see your target on the ground, curling up and clutching his cheek. Your victory was short-lived though. One of his cohorts suddenly had you in a full Nelson, leaving you wide open for the third to attack. His fist met your face and left you disoriented and with what you later learned was merely a broken nose. He should have punched harder. You blindly traded blow for blow by giving him a kick to the torso, using the same sneaker to stomp hard on the foot of the bully holding you in place. It gave you the wiggle room needed to retrieve your limbs back. While he was howling profanity kids his age shouldn't know, he received your elbow in his chest. By then, all three of them were scrambling off, clearly deciding it wasn't worth dealing with your early grasp on martial arts. They didn't matter to you anymore. Your attention latched onto the quiet sniffling from Alina like you'd die if you missed it. And still, you had no idea what to say. You just took a beating for her, and you couldn't even muster up the ability to say two lousy words to her. You offered her hand up to your feet and inspected her for any damage despite your own bleeding nose. She broke the silence by sheepishly offering you a can of Mountain Dew from her satchel. That looked like it really hurt, she said. We should get that checked out. You're sorry, Alina. It's all you could blurt out. You should have been there sooner. It erupts from you like you've been choking the words now for decades. You're sorry, Alina. You could have said anything else, done anything else. You kick yourself every day, painfully aware of it. You're sorry. Who the hell's Alina? Shit. Everything freezes when his invasive quest snaps your recall in half like a brittle stick. You hadn't realized you'd been freed of the strange helmet he put on you. How much of your recall was he suddenly privy to? Fuck, what were you thinking, exploding a vulnerability when he's getting your brain? Maybe he's right, and you are just an idiot. You still certainly feel like one. I don't think... You know what, I don't care anymore. That sounds very unnecessarily feelingsy. I don't really deal in feelings, especially not yours. You were mumbling to yourself for some reason. Beats me, but I could hear you pretty easily. Didn't know you had the capacity to be so sad over something so trivial. Your face is overcome with that burning hot wash of regret. Not because of him, but because of yourself. You know damn well you're going to really give it to yourself later for the unforgivable act of fucking something up. Letting it slip from your lips or failing to protect Alina all those weeks ago, you'll decide later. For now, you'll focus on what seems to be surprising Sabine so thoroughly on his screen because he falls dead silent. Sabine, you look surprised. I think this is the longest silent string I've heard from you tonight. No, holy shit, there's no way! He isn't even paying attention to you until you stand up to observe the results of his experiment. You see a very bright silhouette of your ThinkPad and a bunch of tiny numbers that don't mean anything to you. I fail to understand the significance of this image. It's all just one color. Is that in any way significant? That's the reason it's so significant! The entirety of your recollective processes are off the charts? No, this isn't crap. Are you also a member of Insecto Novus? I thought I was the only one. I was supposed to be the leader of the new revolution. He does realize you're so perfectly capable of hearing him, right? This is quite a step up from a stage whisper. And most certainly it's not your responsibility to look after the ego of this kid, but there's also something to be said about clearing up misconceptions. Yeah, that's your excuse. I assure you, I'm not in a hurry to overthrow you or anyone. What you're seeing is simply my own little mutation. Repeton is full of them. If anything, we encourage those who have mutations to utilize them if possible. Unfortunately, perfect recall hasn't won me every match in which the world has challenged me with. Sometimes, adults aren't as perfect as they seem to kids, like people like you. Your last misspeak didn't seem to tide him over as properly as you'd like, but he's at least talking to you instead of at you again. Elaborate on adults or my ability. You're claiming that perfect recall, or a technical term, preservative narrow storage, has the potential to not be 100% useful. How could that How could that be? You take a deep breath and try to work out what to say to him. You take a look around the workaholic dreamscape he lives in and conclude that he thinks that raw data can solve everything. That the world could be fixed if one last ingenious algebraic equation was unearthed from the polluted crust of the planet. If every cog was spinning perfectly in sync, there wouldn't be a problem. So where's the broken clockwork? He hasn't learned yet that supposedly perfect systems can and do still break. I was there at the wards night too, the one I'm asking you about. I heard a tiny snippet of that conversation you fleshed out for me, but lost focus and that evidence almost vanished entirely. Every time I try to recall that conversation, I simply loop the same error over and over again. That can be easily resolved. What? Yeah, all you'd have to do is recall that night in my scanner and I can peel back the conversational layers you overheard. That's the problem. I couldn't catch a conversation that night. It doesn't matter what you take from my memories. As much as I'd love a chance to travel back in here at all, I don't think even the most powerful of the age-old time alchemists could send us there. Were you in earshot? Could you have heard them if you were concentrating harder? Oh, I see. I could have. I don't see what difference the hypothetical makes beyond Commissioner Hindsight rubbing it in my face. God, almost 3 hours again. It means you didn't hear it, dumbass. It's a little thing called sub-radar frequencies. You fall quiet because it sounds like maybe, just maybe, he has to wait for you to make up for your last time after all. Think of it this way. You've been listening to the song coming from downstairs all this time, correct? I've been tuning it out, actually. You really should let up on your poor neighbor. Let's stick to our dialogue regulator. That's his punishment. He'll work it out. Anyways, the sound makes it to your ears, and therefore your mind. You forget you hear it because your subconscious mind masks it, but the data is still stored. Am I making sense, or should I go a little stupider? It's a simpler matter to comprehend when you can observe the waves like I'm able to, but do try your best to keep up. Did you know that pentocular synesthesia affects 0.002% of the population? Mutation trivia aside, listen more intently to the torture score below. It does make sense. You think you can see where this is going. So, when you talk about peeling back the layers, you're saying I overheard every conversation at once? And that the data from a single conversation could be extracted? It'll take a while for me to decompile anything intelligible, but yes, I'll send you the file tonight when I retrieve legible words. All in a night's work for the man with the biggest gray matter platter ever. Say it with him, everyone. Ha! Sabine, you genius. You felt sickening at first, but you really turned around. You, Cecily, give him a curt nod. Thank you, Sabine. Your assistance is greatly appreciated. Vital, even. Silence! Stop saying the obvious and get back in the pod. I'm about to get a little memorial up in here. You sit down once more to recall the award tonight. Hopefully, this is the last time you'll have to revisit past mistakes. That was great. And it's also the end of the volume. I did it. I got through another volume. What new stuff is added? There's this guy. He's those statues. Where's Sabine? Where's the good boy? Where is he? I do not see any. Is it? Oh, Sabine! There it is! There! Amazing! I honestly wish I was paying attention to the menu back in, I guess after the first volume, because it's cool seeing all these things slowly appear, and some of them kind of mask out other stuff too. But yeah, I guess I'll just end this episode because I have food to eat. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.